Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to All Suck At Starcraft 2. My name is Killjoy, and I'm bringing you another replay of the three of us playing some StarCraft. And as you can see, I've already loaded into the replay. It's an older replay, so therefore the game has to do some weird things, so I'm already loaded up, ready to roll. Just to give you some kind of idea what's going to happen in this game. You can see that Mr. Mark is here, the hybrid toy. I am at the top to the right, and over here we have Fruity Sama. So you got two Terran and a Protoss. Now, this game's give you some kind of idea. This game is quite slow to start with, but then we get to see quite some cool engagements and things like that. I'm going to try and look at good decisions, bad decisions, things like that. You will see me go for a factory and try and get a Hellion out pretty quickly, trying to get across there and to harass. But as you can see so far, just going to put down a barracks here. Sort of standard opening from kind of all of us. We've got barracks coming down from Mark there as well, and Fruity is building a gateway and getting the double gassing. So I'm just going to speed it up for a little bit, just so we can get past the initial setup. Going for double gateway. I think expanding quite soon after that. Now getting my refinery down, getting my second refinery down as well. Scouting Mark, finding out that he's here, seeing that he's going for the double supplies. Now building his refinery and also his second refinery. Just slow it down a sec. So we see that we've got double gateway coming down there from Fruity, building down another pylon, dropping down a cybernetics core. Obviously looking to get some higher stuff out. Probably going to look to get some stalkers out on the field. Getting gateway tech, there we go, my mistake. You can see that now I'm currently building a factory, and like I said, I want to get some, I go for a Hellion to try and harass, just be a pain in the backside. We're going to see that I try to have like a factory, a starport, and at least one barracks. Obviously I get more things over time, but my initial decision is to try and get a Hellion out, and I know where both of them are. To just come out here and harass him, seeing that he doesn't have an expansion yet, Fruity. Same with Mark. Slowly, very slowly building some units. You can see on the production tab over here, like, what's going on. Going for a second barracks now. Fruity now just expanding, so we see that's going down. Here goes my one Hellion, which is nice. I think I've got a Marauder coming out as well. Just an initial bit of defense. Possibly going to expand now. I think that might be what I'm up to. Got this really cool skin for the Hellion, makes him look more like a trike. And you're going to see, at some point, my... Come on, there we go. Second base is going down. We see that Fruity's is almost halfway done. Going for just one Adept, one Zealot for now. Forge is coming down, once the gateways are done. Probably going to transform these as soon as they're completed. And Mr. Mark over here now putting a reactor down on his barracks to get a few Marines out quicker. We're seeing now putting down a factory. We see Fruity's coming up here. I didn't know what actually happens here. Is he going to walk into his base? I imagine he is. He is. I didn't know this happened. Mark taking his very sweet time before attacking it. Come on, Mark. Attack him. There we go. Marines not particularly great against, well, I say that as a kill it. More Adepts do damage versus light, they're kind of a pain in the backside. Here we go, a couple of Hellions coming in now from me. Obviously been attacked. Just trying to pick out some of these dudes. Doing an okay job of firing, but double stalker coming out there. Don't think I got many kills. No, I don't think I did much damage at all. I may have killed some here, but I think it's highly unlikely. I think most of it was trying to run into the base and take out. Trying to be a bit too good for my, trying to be really good for my skill, but I haven't got the best control on these guys. Just checking to see if he's got an expansion there as well. Probably going to get up to no good. But as you can see back home now, switching out for tanks, now getting down a tech lab on the starport so I can get liberators that will help come in handy. You can see that another barracks is coming down there as well. I've now got my expansion up. I have this one Hellion who's almost dead. And now starting my engineering bait. And we're going to see that getting blue flame. I forgot I got blue frame. That's what confused me originally, being like, why do I got this? Actually, no, it's really good because it adds the damage to the Hellions. We can see over here that we have Fruity has built quite a few of these Stalkers now, looking to defend this. Putting down a pylon there, and so on and so forth, going for the double upgrades. Mark now getting his second expansion down, as we can see, opting for Marauders out here, Marines, building Hellions, which is really cool to see. But he is supply blocked by the looks of things, and also has a starport building a medevac. So what you're going to see primarily is, fairly soon, me and Fruity going head to head. Which has some really fun engagements. I'm probably going to sort of pause it and we're going to look at those engagements and figure out what I could have done better, what he could have done better, and so on and so forth. Mark, bless him, slowly building up an army, but he does come into his own later on. He's got his double heli. He's got a fairly okay production now with his second base almost done. He can start building, pumping out more stuff. Right, Liberators are now out for me. As you can see, I've got a tank, I've got 2 tanks, a few dudes, a Hellion, and Liberators are being pumped out. Now putting down a reactor so I can get more Marines much faster. Not enough dudes in gas there. So here we go. Sounds like we're getting this engagement coming up very soon. So before we get into it, let's just have a look at what's going on here. We've got Fruity on the top of this ramp. He's got 4 gateways, I believe, in total. So you can pump out 4 dudes at a time. He's got upgrades. He's got +1 attack. He's almost got the shield upgrade done, and we've got 2 cannons, and I believe that you've got shield batteries here. Now I hate fighting against Protoss with shield batteries. I find them incredibly annoying, but you know, he's got a fairly good army here. So the Liberator's going to plonk on the ramp. Bear in mind, Liberators shoot for 75 damage. We're going to put 2 siege tanks there. We're going to see that guy die. What we're going to see, you can see here, I've stemmed these guys in. They're now about to head forward. The tanks should be shooting this, and not this. This is a problem. I should have selected the tanks and targeted these guys here, but I didn't do that. And you see that they're wasting shots. Well, one of the tanks is wasting shots on that. It does kill it, I believe. Oh no. So all in all, this engagement isn't the worst thing in the world, but like it destroys the initial army, but not. Proton cannons didn't die. I lost a Liberator, lost a tank, lost the rest of my guys. I don't lose another tank. I think he loses another Zealot. Oh, he doesn't lose that Zealot. And this is where you see the power of shield batteries, because that guy, these guys, straight back up to their shields full up. Kind of annoying, actually. Meanwhile, at the time, we got Mr. Mark, who's actually building an army, getting double gas down here, which is nice to see. And he's coming out with plenty of Hellions. He's got a medevac out. Fairly passive stuff at the moment, now getting an armory as well. On my side, we've got a tank, a few Marines. You can see my production's pretty rubbish for 2 base. I'm not building enough SCVs here. I don't have enough barracks. I should probably have at least 2 more barracks, at least another factory. And so on. And Fruity's got his, he's getting charged for his Zealots, which is always good. But a very nice defensible position. Shield batteries, since they've come in, I find them a real pain in the backside, but when you want to defend with them, they're very, very good. Nicely placed cannons here, like in the double pylon, so they're not going to get shot down. And yeah, now going for a double gas there as well. You're going to see I'm going to come back across, now getting my 3rd base as well. Going to come back across and just continue to be aggressive. I do, at some point, I've got it already, now getting upgrades from my armory. +1 on my Marines and Marauders, so that's good. And as for Mark, he's just going to keep toddling away, slowly building up stuff. You know, we will see him attack at some point, but as of right now, it's primarily between me and Fruity. And what you're going to see here is me just gathering an army for another attack. And here we go. So now I'm going with a double Liberator. So let's pause and look at the situation again before we end. We've got we've got 4 Stalkers in there. We've now got a couple of these little friends here, these sentries, and we've got a few Adepts and Zealots as well. So this is still fairly defendable. Nice little position. Starting to mine out this base now, but you know, fairly well put together. What upgrades are we looking at? We're looking at 1-1. So versus my less upgraded stuff, but we'll see what happens here. We'll see, because now with double Liberator, if you can line these up nicely, you can really kind of stop him from getting down the ramp. That was kind of the plan here, is so that as soon as the tanks are set up, the tanks are firing, they have to come down the ramp and run into the Liberator fire. Which does happen, and we're going to see that Liberators take out all these Stalkers dead. Not a problem. Liberator's doing a fine job taking them out, get rid of them. Only problem is, most of the ground army died. What little there was of it. But nicely, these things doing getting 4 kills each? Yeah. Made a mistake here, got way too close. Like, whoops, this should have been deployed. So that one is. I think it takes out one of these Stalkers, maybe. Ooh, no. Yes? Ooh, that was close. You see, I'm just trying to siege him in his base so that he's got no way of moving out or expanding. What he could do at this point is get a warp prism and, you know, get around the back of it. Now, moving Stalkers to try and take out these guys, moving them out of the circles, which is a smart thing to do. He actually managed to clean up. I don't have a lot there. Nicely done, you know, trying to move around the circles that the Liberators put down. You know, it does help that, you know, he has to come down this ramp for me to hit him. I can't really get into his base to hit him otherwise. See, I'm floating a lot of money. Way too much money. Like, these are not even fully... I don't even have 3 dudes in there. What am I playing at? Now finally getting another barracks. Getting this barracks as well with a reactor. And we're going to see a bit of an attack from Mr. Mark, who's finally decided to push out. He's got a couple of medevacs in with this army. He's got a nice few Hellions with +1. He's actually got a Cyclone in there, which is surprising. I think this is one of those matches where he's still learning the game and still trying to figure out what things did. You see Fruity's now expanded up there. I'm just gathering a bit of a force. Nothing too exciting. Finally getting... I've got upgrades. But other than that, generally just playing... You know, just rebuilding my force, ready to push out again. Because for me, I'm like, I need to keep Fruity in his base. Keep him trapped there, let him do... You know, mine him out, basically. Take the area, and we're going to see something really cool happen here that I think was kind of accidental, but I liked it anyway. And we also see Fruity going for those are Phoenixes to tackle the Liberators more than likely. And now this army here is going to push in, and you're going to see them do some serious damage to the drone count of Fruity. I don't know whether that was on purpose or by accident, but I'm just defending this area here for now. Right, so in they go. Watch what happens here. Pushes in. Fruity's army's there currently, but then all these probes get massacred. And that was quite enjoyable to watch, actually. Manages to clean things up because he's got decent upgrades on him versus these guys that really don't. And they also hit, like, seriously hard. Brought in a few more zealots. Now got a Void Ray in there as well. Still trying to send probes over there to mine. Cleans these up quite nicely, and here I am. I'm like, oh, there's some stuff going on here. Like, what's happening? So getting to seize this one up, and then using it to attack a Void Ray. Not the smartest thing in the world. These are armored, not particularly good. But then my army comes in and, you know, tries to push down what he has here. I don't think I succeed very well. Oh yeah, DTs. I forgot that even happened. Finally going to destroy this. I think he manages to push me back though. Ooh. See, Liberator's not particularly great against Void Rays when they're in air configuration. But there you go, you see that, like, Fruity taking quite a bit of damage there, though he does have this third base up and it's been left alone. But other than that, he's kind of lost his frontal thing here, defense. This has now been powered down. During which time we're going to see that Marcus is still just using the couple barracks that he's got. He hasn't got enough dudes in there yet. So oops. And same for me. I think at this point I've got another factory that I end up building here. More barracks. There's another starport coming down. Now getting out Vikings to deal with the Void Rays, because Liberators, while they are very powerful, they are not particularly good against air, unless you have a lot of them, and then they're only good against lighter air units, so maybe Phoenix they'd be quite good against. But dealing with a Void Ray, which is good against armored, not particularly. Whereas a Viking, on the other hand, is pretty powerful. So, they're always fun to use. Now, Fruity pushing out to try and see where I'm at. But quite, you know, not the biggest army there you're going to see. take out the Void Ray pretty quickly, so it does do some damage. But bye-bye Void Ray. I believe that's all she wrote, and it was. That was his last army. And now we get to see a fight between me and Mr. Mark, which I will say doesn't go particularly well, and I made some mistakes in this engagement, but you see me pushing out across the map. This 4, I think I built this to deal with, again, the air units that Fruity had, but also to tank some damage, because these things are pretty powerful. Ah! I forgot this even happened, so yeah, I sieged up this guy, started taking out his SCVs there, was kind of the plan. Moves his army out of the way, sending in the Vikings. Oh, they're pretty good against Vikings. Huh. Oh, he's got Marines there as well, that was a bit confusing. But yeah, just pause it here, we see what I'm coming up this. His army is here on this ramp. The tank should have been seized up way earlier. My rest of my army isn't behind there. This 4 is way out of position. You can see that basically when I attacked him, his army was much closer to my army in terms of what should have been where it was, and instead my tanks aren't sieged up. I haven't got huge amount of stuff there, and things get destroyed pretty quickly. I do some serious damage to him, which is nice, but it's still, you know, a bit late. I don't have any medevacs in here. I've got this thing killing off his Hellions, which is pretty nice. So you can see my entire army went. This thing's holding on for dear life. And if Mark right now had pushed out and got into my base, I probably would have been pretty stuffed. I literally didn't have any units, I think, at this point. No. I didn't have anything. So, that goes to show, you know, remember to build units, because otherwise you're going to get shot and killed pretty quickly. But we'll get to see some fun more engagements coming up here. You're going to see me push out and try and defend this area. This is where my 3rd base is. I've turned it into a planetary. You know, that's the best place for me to be right now. Don't have a lot of map vision. Neither does Mark, actually. Tanks now coming out. We now see him building a 2nd factory, and this is my biggest problem. I don't build enough factories. Big issue that I always have. I should build more factories much earlier on. But we're going to see a nice setup here. I'm just going to speed this up because you're just going to wait for the next engagement between me and Mr. Mark. I'm just kind of waiting for him to push out now, which I believe he does. And this was tough. Like, he could have killed me quite easily this engagement. I didn't have a huge amount of things. I had one tank. I got rid of, because his Cyclone turned out before anything else, that kind of helped me. This one tank essentially firing a few shots, I think, is kind of what saved me. There's another tank back there as well. Slowly popping them off. Got a couple of medevacs. So you can see I whittled his army down pretty well. So even though I felt like I didn't have an army after this, it actually probably was a fair engagement and probably slightly favoured me in terms of what I had versus what he had. I have 2+2-1 versus Mark's 2-1. Oh, so we had the same upgrades. I didn't know that. 2 on the tanks armor. More so armor than I had attacking, but also now we've got fusion core, I think, so I could build the I already got it, the upgrade for liberators, but I don't think I really got any more liberators after this. Also expanding up to the top there, you can finally see that I'm pushing out there. Mr. Mark spending his entire game on 2 base, bless him. And all these SCVs stood around. These guys aren't mining. He's not got 3 guys in that gas. All kinds of stuff. It's all going wrong. But let's speed it up a little bit. You can see another attack coming here now. This one a little bit more effective than my last attack. Actually setting it up fairly well. Come on, guys. There we go. Look. So we're going to go across the map here. Just checking to see if he's got a 3rd base, which he doesn't. Oops. So I run in, destroy some dudes, but realise there's a lot of them there. Siege up the tanks. Let the tanks do most of the damage. Stim in there. Way more medevacs this time. The Vikings. Ah, forgot about this. So I don't think he realised Liberators could deploy, or was a bit confused about it. So you see that he ends up using them to just take out my air units. It's quite funny. During which time I've mopped up the last of his ground army, with what's left of my ground army, and a few reinforcements coming in to take out this expansion. yeah, I mean that's pretty much all she wrote this game. It was a bit sloppy for us all of this. There was some good decisions made in those engagements. Some not so much. Definitely the first attack on Mark that I did was horrible for me because my army was not in place, the tanks weren't seized up. But actually a fairly good game, and even the where Fruity's base was, he defended it really well. I think he got unlucky because Mark attacked him, and then as soon as he like had those engagements, I then turned up, and even though he pushed me away, he only had a little bit left, and I took that out from defending it. So it was a good game all round. I enjoyed the using the Liberators and trying to like corner parts of it, make him fight in my in the way that I wanted to fight. But it was a good game, and you know, seeing Mark actually have a fairly good engagement and using Liberators for air rather than ground. But all in all, it was very good. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching this video, and if you like it, please let us know. Subscribe, like, all that kind of stuff. And until next time, I will see you then.